I'm going to read you an email from a client that's TRT protocol literally transformed by just injecting the same total dose, the same frequency in a different location in their body with a different needle. And then we're going to talk about why this happened. If you're injecting testosterone intramuscularly, you have a few options. You have the delt, you have the upper glute, you have the ventroglute, and you have your quad. There's two different locations on the quad, the vastus lateralis on the outside of your thigh, and then the rectus femoris, which is like the predominant muscle if you flex your quad that you can see right in front of you on the top. I have long discovered that there are differences in injection sites, particularly because there are obviously differences in vascularity in those sites, and therefore the kinetics of the depot are going to be different. To me, that seems inherently obvious, but if you're thinking about it at a granular enough level, it does make sense. I've got a user that kept their dose the same. I'm going to read you the email here in a second. 120 milligrams a week. The guy was splitting it up into every other day. Did subQ, did a shallow intramuscular with a half-inch needle in the delt, tried intramuscular in the upper glute. Things were lukewarm, things were okay, but they were never great on TRT. Switched to a quad injection, and almost immediately, everything came back. Let's break this down because I do want people to understand the differences between injection sites, and then in some cases, your dose might be right, but the kinetics are wrong. Here's how to fix it. Let's take a look at this. All right, before we start the video, look, Cortex Labs, which is my company, is a TRT guidance and sexual dysfunction coaching and consulting company. Got a range of different products, but right now, all digital products are 40% off. The code for that is 40 now. I will flash on the screen. That includes Mastering Libido and Erections on TRT, the sexual function downloadable PDF playbook for dialing in libido and erections. Mastering Testosterone Cream for libido and erections. Okay, 40% off. Again, codes on the screen. This is a video course. Mastering Testosterone Cypionate, another video course for libido and erections. 40% off. Okay, codes on the screen. Source list, self-explanatory. 40% off. Codes on the screen. Lastly, if you need to book me for coaching or consulting, the 3- and 6-month programs right now are fully booked. If you need special consideration, please email me. There's a link to email me on the website. Consulting is open, all right? If you're struggling with libido and erections on TRT and trying to dial in, hire me. Links are down in the description of this video. All right, so let's get to this email. The subject is titled, Brother, Thank You. Switching injection sites brought my libido back. It goes like this. Ryan, I'm emailing you because you've been one of the only YouTubers to highlight the differences between injection types, frequencies, and on a few occasions, you've talked about locations being superior. On a few live streams back, I remember you saying that injecting in the thigh seemed to bring a guy's libido back on the same dose, same method. Intramuscular, he's got in parentheses. I've been at 120 milligrams a week doing every other day injections, and he's got parentheses 34 milligrams every other day. Yeah, that sounds about right. For 6 months trying to make it work. And I can get erections, he has in parentheses, I use 5 milligrams Cialis daily, but they're not like they were pre-TRT, and my libido is generally flat, okay? Prior to coming across your content, I injected subQ and also with a 1/2 inch needle in the delt. So that's shallow intramuscular, sometimes known as subQ. But I mean, you're getting the tip of the muscle. You are getting into the vascular tissue. But I do believe for intramuscular injections, you should use at least a 5/8 inch needle and get it in there further. Guy goes, the delt injection worked better for sexual function, but it still wasn't great. After watching you talk about vascularity of injection sites, I tried just switching to my thigh. So the quad. I did not hit the vastus lateralis, but instead the muscle right in front, right in the middle, that when I flexed my quads, I see and feel the most prominently. All right, that's the rectus femoris. That is the muscle that is front and center if you flex your thigh, your quad muscles. It's essentially the biggest, most prominent muscle. That's the rectus femoris. I goes literally the first injection, and a day later, my libido started coming back. As I continued, my libido got stronger and stronger, and now it's been an entire 30 days, so that's enough time to see if something's actually working for you. And I think it's safe to say, in parentheses, he's got fingers crossed, that my libido is fully back and erections are better too. How is this possible? Is this the vascularity of the site? Is it placebo? Is it something else? Been using 5/8 inch needles per your direction. Thanks for the content, brother. You're changing lives. Ron. Thank you, Ron. All right, so what do we have here? We have 120 milligrams injected a week. It's split up into every other day injections. Doing subQ, libido erections, lukewarm. Doing a 1/2 inch insulin needle in the delt, libido erections better, but still not great. Libido generally absent. A simple change to the rectus femoris, again, that prominent muscle in your thigh. Libido came fully back, erections are stronger. Okay, so what the hell happened? Ron, I don't know if you're watching here. I decided to just answer your question on the channel. I'll follow up, email you with this link if you happen not to see it. So basically what happened here is this guy, instead of injecting anywhere else, especially the quad or the upper glute, changed the needle size. So two things changed. Changed to a 5/8 inch needle, which is going to get deeper into the vascular tissue, which would foster presumably a faster uptake, assuming it's very vascular tissue, of the testosterone to be hydrolyzed into be active testosterone that your body can then biologically use. And change the location site to the rectus femoris or femoris. It is the predominant thigh muscle right there. Again, the vastus lateralis is somewhere on the outside of that muscle, right? Think to the right and the left of what you're looking at, just kind of on the outside of your thighs where the vastus lateralis is. A lot of people say don't pin in the rectus femoris because there's a lot of nerve endings and other things that could give you like a dead leg. People have done this. You inject in the quad, anywhere in your quad, especially in that muscle, and you end up with like post-injection pain or otherwise debilitating pain or dead leg for a week or so. So this is a risky move, dude, to do this. The question really is for Ron is like, why did he get libido back by keeping the same dose, going deeper intramuscular and changing the injection location? I think the first and most primary answer for folks to think about why this may have worked is that your thigh muscles are the most active, perhaps one of the most active muscles on your body. I mean, you are constantly moving around, constantly facilitating blood flow through those muscles. The rectus femoris is actually a substantially big muscle as well. If you think about subQ kinetics, doing the research on that, what determines the rapidity or the speed with which you uptake that testosterone is the metabolic function in that area, meaning are you moving around enough to foster the metabolism of the depot, of the oil depot? Well, the same thing applies to intramuscular injections. If that muscle is being moved a lot, it's active, it means it's highly perfused. There's a lot of blood flow going through that muscle, man. You just go on a walk, you're moving that muscle, right? You're facilitating the metabolism of the oil injection depot. Thigh muscles are also extremely capillary rich. Let's talk about that. In a capillary-rich muscle, such as the rectus femoris, presumably blood flow is higher via increased quantity of capillaries. The exchange surface area is larger. I think importantly that the tissue turnover is faster, and things like lymphatic drainage, whether influential or not, is probably better. So presumably this changes how fast the testosterone leaves the depot. The ester gets cleaved off, then you've got, circulating free, effectively, testosterone for you to use. Think about dense capillary networks in an injection site is that presumably, again, they removed dissolved hormone, maintained concentration gradients, and they also increased diffusion speed. Meaning, and this is the critical part, at least in my theory at this point, I cannot say that this is exact science. If blood rapidly carries a hormone away to be metabolized, then because it's a capillary rich tissue, more hormone continues diffusing outward, which would ultimately mean just a faster uptake of the testosterone. That's all we're really talking about here. We do know that a increased local blood flow, a faster or more rich local blood flow increases release of testosterone oil depots into the system. When we're talking about the rectus femoris, thigh muscle tissue, that tissue contracts, it heats up, it receives blood surges from you moving throughout the day, and it mechanically compresses tissue. All of that, what all of that does is increase oil dispersion and ultimately like the movement of the ester. And in terms of mechanics and like movement to facilitate all of that stuff, your thigh, which is what you're walking on all day, does this all day long. Okay. Sometimes you might be sedentary. Other times you're going to be walking. Even if you're sedentary, you're getting up, you're going to the bathroom, you're getting food, you're doing things. It's doing it all day. I think the bottom line with Ron's experience is that higher perfusion, meaning blood flow dynamics and blood flow, equals more rapid exposure, faster serum rise in testosterone, and earlier free testosterone availability. Now, if you contrast that with fat tissue, like injecting subcutaneously, well, subQ tissue is less vascular, has lower metabolic activity, it's less mechanically active, and it 100% has lower capillary density. So the oil, sits there. It sits there more statically. It takes a lot longer to be hydrolyzed. Diffusion is slower, and the release is like flatter. That's, by the way, why, like with subQ, you often get lower peaks compared to intramuscular injections. So I think the bottom line with Ron's experience in getting his libido back on literally the same dose with a slightly bigger needle, which got deeper into the muscle but injected in a totally different site, we're going to talk about caveats here in a second, is that there's just more perfusion, more blood flow. The testosterone hydrolyzed faster, it got into the system faster, which presumably ends up giving you more at once, right? So it's more DHT to androgen receptor sitting for a longer time, disassociating from the receptor at a significantly less rate than testosterone itself, creating more of an androgenic pull, so more androgenic mediated gene transcription function, which likely activated the dopaminergic and limbic system elements of libido in the brain at an accelerated, more compounded rate, and also likely gave the person more localized DHT at penile tissues, which optimizes the endothelium, cholinergic signaling, nitric oxide signaling, and ultimately erectile quality. But I think what Ron's email illustrates is the stuff that I've been trying to break down for a while now, is that we should think about every single facet of what we're doing regarding TRT at a much more 100-foot level. I mean, forget about the 5,000-foot view. You got to look at it from the perspective of boots on the ground to understand what's really going on. Think about things that detailed. Why not? Yeah, I think people just either intellectually are lazy about it or don't want to do the research or just don't think that it matters at that level. And when it gets to that level, it's placebo. Well, no, there's all kinds of different hemodynamics and otherwise capillary stuff that's happening, at the muscle tissue level, depending on the injection site, that differs from other injection sites. To discount that reality, to me, is absurd, and I don't want you guys to discount it either. All right, boys, as I said at the beginning, listen, everything is 40% off. All the digital products are 40% off. That is Mastering Libido and Erections on TRT. It's a downloadable digital PDF. It's a book that I wrote. It's 70 pages deep, showing you how to dial in with diagrams, decision trees, logic on the DHT estrogen axis, dialing in on any ester. You can download that in under a minute, livecortex.com. It is right now 40% off. Code's on the screen. Same with source list. Pretty self-explanatory. Is everything you might need. Trusted sources. Okay, 40% off. Code for that is on the screen. Mastering Testosterone Cream for Libido and Erections. I've used cream on and off for many years. I know how to dial it in, both with me, obviously, but importantly with clients, and I created a video course showing you how to do that for libido and erections. That's 40% off right now, boys. Lastly, Mastering Testosterone Cypionate. I think this is a video course everybody that runs Cypionate should actually have, to run through everything, to understand my logic on how to dial in this ester after 7 years. 40% off. All right, get it down in the description of this video. Again, because of April and the discounted intake, I am booked on coaching itself, but consults are open, whether it's the TRT protocol audit or the sexual function consult on TRT. You can book those in under a minute down in the description of this video or at livecortex.com. If you need coaching, I can't leave it up on the website because 25 more people will book and I'll be at max capacity. Just email me, all right? There'll be an option to email me on the website and I'll consider getting you in if you absolutely need me. All right, my brother in test, thanks for being with me for another one. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Do me 2 favors. Look, if you like this video, if anything resonated with you, if there was entertainment value, please hit the like button. Honestly, bro, it makes a fucking difference, like a big difference. Hit the like button, man. I need you to. All right. If anything resonated with you and you like what's happening on this channel and you're not subscribed, I promise you're going to have a good time on this channel and you're going to learn a lot. And at the very least, bro, it's me. I think I'm kind of cool. Sub to the channel. I do have one more piece of information for you. I want to tie this all together with a video over here that I think you should spend the time watching. It's not a long video at all, so just go click on it and watch it. All right, watch that video. Understand what I'm trying to say here. It's going to help your TRT journey. Kick ass, rock on, enjoy the rest of your day, and brother, I'll talk to you in the next one.